Lihyan are in fact personal names. So the theory is plausible that these were the leaders. Now, Hugh Nibley already took note of the Arabic evidence of the name Lehi. Here's the linguistics of the name Lehi. It is a personal name. Until recently, it was entirely unknown, save as a place name. But now it is turned up at Elath and elsewhere in the south in a form which was identified by Nelson Gluck, the biblical archaeologist, with the name Lehi, L-A-H-A-I, which occurs quite frequently either as a part of a compound or as a separate name of a deity or a person, particularly in Manaean, Talmudic, and Arabic texts. There is a Beit Lehi, a house of Lehi, among the ancient place names of the Arab country around Gaza, but the meaning of the name there has been lost. If the least be said of it, the name Lehi is thoroughly at home among the people of the desert, and so far as we know, nowhere else. Now, Mr. Sadi Anwad Awad, who is a native to Arabia, told us how to pronounce Lehi, L-I-H-Y. He says Lehi is Lehi, L-E-H-H-E-E, Lehi, not the way we say Lehi. And Leon, L-I-H-Y-A-N, is Lehian, L-E-H-H-E-E-A-N, Lehian, the H being aspirated. But written Semitic languages, Hebrew as well as Arabic, usually give only consonants of a word, so the vowels may be shown by points, but it's usually left to the reader on how to pronounce it. It's very interesting, isn't it? The translation, this is on page 89 of their work. The translation of unfamiliar Arabic names into foreign languages has resulted in wide variations in English spelling, of course. In the case of the name Leon, L-I-H-Y-A-N, Greek writers recorded the name as Lechianor, L-E-C-H-I-E-N-O-R. The Persians as Leonitic, L-E-A-L-A-E-A-N-I-T-I-C, Leonitic. And the Romans, according to Pliny, pronounce it as Lechani, L-E-C-H-I-E-N-I. Agatharchides of Persia called the Persian Gulf of Aqaba the Leonitic Gulf, and mentioned the widespread extent of this civilization. Pliny the Elder of the 1st century A.D. wrote, Al-Hijr is the royal seat of the Lechnis. The word Liya, L-I-H-Y-A, in Arabic means beard. That's fascinating. Lehi is a genuine personal name. Now, when they find the name Nephi, they find more of the same. Nephi is also a personal desert place name. It's spelled N-F-Y in the inscriptions on the rocks. He has a lot more on Nephi here. It's awful windy today. I wish it wasn't so windy, but it is getting to be winter here. The surrounding tribes call it Naphi, N-A-F-I. And this name, interestingly, Nephi, N-E-F-Y, or Naphi, N-A-F-I, this name does not appear in Temanite, Jaffian, Dedanite, Naji, Hijazi, or the Tabuki languages. It appears only in the Lihiyanites language. Now that's fascinating, isn't it? Well, Nephi, N-F-Y, though, also appears in Sophitic and Manaean personal names. Nafi is a rural town in Saudi Arabia, an 8-hour drive from our home in Yanbu. And this is a funny story here that they say. It's on page 90 and 91. He says, one day in the company of Delbert Madsen, we visited the town. It seemed like a miracle when we knocked on the door and an Arab owner invited us in for supper and overnight. He explained he was home from vacation from the University of Colorado, where he was a PhD candidate. When we declined his tea, he asked if we were Mormon. He said that once he was driving from southern Nevada to Idaho when he noticed the town Nephi, Utah on the map. He stopped there for gas and food and asked a man in the restaurant, "What is the connection between Nephi in Utah and my home, Nafi, in Saudi Arabia, since they are the same word?" The Utah man was reported to have replied, "Are you kidding?" So the Arab drove on to Idaho and he never received an answer. But Nephi is the name of this guy's hometown. Fascinating, isn't it? And then there's an inscription that they show of Lihiyanites that talks about, this is engraved in an ancient Lehian script on a tomb marker near Al-Ula, Saudi Arabia. It has Ha-Nafi, the Mr. Nephi, in Lihiyanites script. It's very fascinating. That's on page 91, figure 811. On page 92, it's interesting. It seems safe to say that when Lehi named his son Nephi, he was using a local Hebrew or Jewish name for his son and not an Egyptian one. And now it's also home in Arabic. In fact, you can look in the Jeddah phone book today and find no fewer than 27 families with the name Nephi, al-Nafi. Lehi and Nephi may have been very famous names in the Lihiyanite culture. That is fascinating. The Lihiyanite inscriptions, they talk about certain priestly functions. They show the Lihiyanite script along with other ancient Arabic scripts on page 93. They have old Lihiyanite sculptures, temples, statues. They show the Lihiyanite script on an inscribed stela on page 95. They describe the size of the temple. The vessel, they have a vessel here. They say possibly patterned after Solomon's temple font, add another dimension to the theory that the Lihiyans were Jewish. That's on page 97. And then they come up into the modern in the Encyclopedia of Islam, this is very interesting, on page 98. This is talking about the 6th century AD Lehi. Professor Vida lists a man named Lihan, Lihyan, who became the eponymous ancestor of 3 Lihan tribes, Muwaya, Tabiya, and Dabij, and shows his origins. Vida says Lihan was one of 4 sons of Hudail, who was the son of Mudrika, who was the son of Alyas, son of Mudar. That is, Lihan came from the North Arab stock. Very interesting. The personal name Lehi, Lihy, was passed down to male descendants in later centuries. Also, the Arabists who insist the term Lihan means children of Lehi rather than the people of Lehi could be referring to the second period of Lihan history when there was a blood relationship between a man Lihan and his offspring. And then they talk about the modern descendants of Lihan in the 3rd period. The original Lihan was called Lehi, son of Hudail. In my language, you add on to a man's name to make it a tribal name, Lihan. So it was Lehi. He says that on page 99. And then he says there's various spellings of Lehi in transliteration. Lihy, Lahy, Lehey, Lehy, Lahi, and Lehai, Lehi. They are located on the side of the trail that Lehi took. Now, that was in 1996 when he found the people of Lehi. He wrote an article, they wrote an article in Sunstone for 1983 talking about the Lihiyanites as the people of Lehi. I've already alluded to this article. And instead of going into this article, what I want to do, because he has basically the same information in his book, there is new information out